Welcome back to Sons of Liberty. Time to put this to rest. Alright.
And save the world.
Alright. Might as well give a little warning, by the way. There's going to be a sequence in this, much like the first Raimi Spider-Man movie. This movie had a little thing where Manhattan was going to get destroyed. Now, considering this game came out in 2001, you're probably already guessing what they had to do shortly before the game came out.
Doing the trailers, the showcase.
So keep that in. So if you feel like there's a moment in this game where something feels abrupt, that's because they had to cut a cutscene for the sake of
Apparently, if I recall, the entire climax of Lilo and Stitch also was reworked because of that.
Poor timing.
Don't even worry about it.
Oh, that's right. That's one thing that we forgot to mention. You want to know in what part of Arsenal Gear are we?
It's Reckiton?
Yes. Yes. I
Yes,
feel there's a
that
joke
is-
somewhere.
Look,
again,
Terry. It's like when you're doing surgery via trauma center event. I mean, that is an actual part of the body that also needs to be taken care of. I mean, come on.
But yeah, as we've mentioned before, 9/11 did affect a lot of things. Again, though, let us never forget the effects it had to the movie.
Oh, hold on. There you go, Terry.
Whoa.
Fish and mail.
Director Kojima, I think you kind of fucked up a couple of the lettering.
Could you?
Your checks in the mail.
There's also another thing that we haven't.
Hold on. So Sherry, how's that second dose of metanus that I had to inject you now?
I think the proofreader just went out for a little
Otacon, help me out here.
Can I tell the enemy to stop firing while you talk?
Also, another thing that,
You see this? It's kind of like how in the climax of Lost Future, it's a good thing that Clive pauses his giant robot while we're solving the puzzles. So.
Also, another thing that I check in between parts, that weird coded call where Colonel name drops a bunch of Japanese particular names. Those are not the developers' names. Those are apparently train station in a particular line in train line in Japan. Those are apparently also referenced by something in Psycho Mantis in the first game. Apparently, like data code or something like that. Apparently, it's a running gag, but those are not technically people's name, but the locations.
Well,
Pedro, Clive didn't cause his destruction of London. Remember how wrecked stuff got? Also, you mailed the fission again.
yeah, I mailed the fission.
What's a fission? Anyway.
I don't know.
Well, a fission is a nuclear reaction, in which case...
okay.
Basically, it's when a neutron slams into a larger atom, forcing it to excite and split into two
Cutscene.
smaller atoms.
These particles really love each other.
Fortune.
Hey, Fortune.
No. Actually, Teo, it's kind of the opposite. It's when two particles actually kind of hate sex each other to the point where they end up creating smaller atoms.
Like projectiles with Fortune.
Oh.
And that ends up causing sometimes damage.
Killed my father.
Wait,
That
what?
was the beginning of hell for us. Everyone I love has been taken one by
So
one,
it looks
and
like
no
her
matter how
father
hard
was
I try,
taken
I
down
can't
2 years ago
find
when the
him
tanker
in this
drowned.
nightmare.
Get your
The
golf
only
club
thing
out.
we live for is to see
Wait, this is not Final Fantasy X.
almost
like-
over.
Oh wait, actually no, that would be the Blitzball. Sorry, I'm thinking of Call. No, this is not Last of Us Part 2. That would be the good joke. Yeah, this is not Last of Us Part 2. Let's come on. Let's.
So Rylan is like, can I go now? Look,
Yeah, basically, Snake.
telling him, like,
Yeah, Snake will hold her while Raiden gets going. All right, let's go.
okay, thanks, bye.
Boy, now would be a pretty cool time to do that boss fight between Solid Snake and Fortuna from the
Fortune.
demos, right?
Fortune, you fool, why'd you city Raiden?
To be fair, we're not playing as Snake, so.
I know. Again, I feel like it was a missed opportunity that they didn't at least let you play as Snake for this. Well, for a boss fight against Fortune. Since, again, that actually would have been a cool way for them to say, oh, well, technically we didn't lie. You do actually fight Solid Snake as Fortune. I mean, sorry, you do actually fight Fortune as Solid Snake.
For the reasons that I will explain later.
Getting
Sorry.
creepier.
For the reasons that I will explain later, I'm fine with the game lying to us about that because there's a greater point to be made with that. Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
boy,
now it's
just
actually,
it.
believe it or not, what's about to happen is actually one of the more contentious points of the entire game for all people.
Yep.
Yeah.
If not the entire
Honestly,
series, 'cause ladies and gentlemen,
There is a
honestly,
reason behind it, but again, first of all, I just see it happened.
Yeah.
yeah.
It looks like you've remembered the way you used to kill in the old days. Or is it one of the S3 plan's proud achievements?
What are you talking about?
Good
It
question.
came as a complete surprise when Ocelot discovered the S3 data from GW. Not a bad idea, though.
PTP.
Using fire to fight fire, creating the perfect assassin to retire. Solid Snake's
Sorry.
brother.
You're walking around like that while this
S3
speech is going
stands
on.
for Solid Snake
He
Simulation.
believes if he's was blowing modern
It's a
times, right, and
development
will with a
program to
snail's
artificially
pace.
reproduce Solid Snake, the perfect warrior. The result is a Foxhound Commando. When Foxhound no longer exists, a simulated Solid Snake
Can we
shaped
shoot
by
something
VR
yet?
Regiment.
Sadly,
Sound like
Solidus
someone
has
you know,
enough of
Jack.
brain power to not confront us directly
I'm
for
sorry
this.
to see you reduced to one of the Patriots' puppets. But I've made use of you, and their plan too. Solid Snake's sudden appearance, your arrival. It was obvious the Patriots were among my ranks. I
of
had
course,
to
the
smoke
Patriots
out the
are
engine
everywhere.
Before the mission entered the final phase. You came in handy. As
Patriots are
bait.
the ones that made you vomit years ago.
Jack,
Well, remember, you already said that this is all Arsenal's fault.
every
So
day was absolute. Split between
I
life
knew
and
that
death.
football club was trouble.
You ran from it. And now you've been led back to war by something less
ah yes,
than
again, just like in Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, the theme of the cycle of war.
So what's the point of that then? Boys?
Ta-da! Dynamic entrance.
Was so he could enter like a boss,
At least you
like this,
know. There's no reason
like a
to keep
big
going.
boss, maybe.
However, we don't need to fight it for the time being. Instead, the Solidus decides to unleash the entirety of the Metal Gear Ray package onto Raiden. All of them. If you forgot, the arsenal can contain, I think, around 25 of them or something.
Something along those
It's a
lines.
lot.
Yes. Yeah. All right. If you're, okay, I remember how this is. You use Stinger missiles. Okay.
Wait, but are they in the inventory?
These raw.
Fortunately, they are. Yes.
What is
Well,
this?
remember, Snake gave us Stinger missiles when we met him again. So
There we go.
So yeah, you are not hallucinating. In this bit, you are to fight several Metal Gears.
And winning very easily on that front. This fight is very easy. It's not really scripted, thankfully, but it's not really something that you can, lose your mind too much about it. The closest that you can imagine is that again, you can damage just a bit from their attacks. But as long as you have rations, you really don't have to worry.
that being said, like Theo said, there's actually a story justification for why this is as easy as it is for Raiden right now.
Oh, okay. Metal-wise, the game is literally going through you to a power fantasy moment.
That too,
remember,
yeah.
Yes.
Remember how in the past games, some Snake had to fight literally tooth and nail, even in the stupid NES port, to destroy a single metal.
Well, Theo,
Those were old models. This is the new one, the cool one, more efficient and everything, and Raiden is just Pichu.
Theo, considering what happens in 4, maybe Ray's not as good as Rex.
Objection, Ray manages to still be confident even as a first boss in Rising, and Raiden needs to still work out to defeat.
True, but that's a more advanced version of Ray, though.
That actually is a point, though. Okay, I will say this. This moment, gameplay-wise, is insanely cool. Story-wise, though, yeah, this is controversial amongst fans here, wherein Raiden just pretty much is gonna clear house on these Metal Gears.
There you go.
Also, that was a Star Wars soundfall.
Well, those.
I'd be surprised if Kojima intentionally did that. Man's a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
It's no use.
Even though I
Which
was
is
kicking
interesting.
their butts.
It's interesting to say that.
Hopefully voice seal at
Yeah,
some point.
yeah. Because it's interesting you say that. Yeah, because Quentin Blum voiced Silver at some point. Yeah.
it's interesting also because both again. Oh dear.
Epic slow-mo. Olga.
So you decided to show
Olga, don't do this. They'll know.
I'll hold them off. Give you time to get away.
What about you?
Where's there even to run to? They're literally surrounding us.
This is suicide.
You're
I'm
a soldier.
already
That's
dead.
kind of like your whole
Vital signs
like
to the
potential
Patriots.
deal.
Like, I think she knows what
Yeah,
she's doing.
remember, if Raiden dies, her child dies, and she's willing to give her life for her.
I see. So that's why you sold your troops out to me. So many dead, and they all
Man,
died
Solidus, you
trusting
really don't know how to gather intel, do you?
The Patriots are holding Olga's child hostage, and yeah.
He literally doesn't know that his right-hand man is working for the Patriots. Solidus is that guy who likes to believe he's on top of everything.
Yeah.
When he doesn't know jack diddles.
I guess you can say a certain someone played him like a damn fiddle, Jonah. Oh crap.
Oh yeah, that's gonna stop him.
Hey, you're not Ocelot.
You know,
Go on.
I love how even though he's choking her, he decides to be extra careful and just go for straight up shooting her. Which, to give him credit, that's good and straightforward.
Oh, Jesus.
Dang! And he's still choking her just to make sure she's dead.
Yeah, this is a bit sloppy, admittedly.
Okay, no.
I like
It is
Olga, but
kind of how I
whatever.
feel
I
with
wish
a
she
lot
was
of
able
it.
to do more stuff, like at least try to injure a bit Solidus. In this, it comes a bit across she was just raged.
Remember, she was supposed to at least buy him some time, but she didn't buy him even a second.
Let's pick up.
Make her out like a make her go out like a badass. So.
I'd say she bought it in 3 seconds.
Uh-oh. Hold on.
What's going on?
What's going on?
Yeah, exactly.
What's wrong with
Mr. Kojima, there's not enough space in my room here in my brain. Go away.
What?
The Rays are like, fuck this shit.
The frames on your
They might never
razor.
use the control.
Overload, overload.
They're being possessed by Japanese yokai specters? I don't know. That's the sound. That's the
They're having
vibrational
a
sound like
crash.
I would do.
Throughout the neural network. I can't shut it down.
What happened?
Maybe some kind of virus.
The Patriots?
Oh,
Ocelot, what have you been up to?
Hold on.
Haha, it was me all along.
Emergency ascent course.
Fucking Ocelot.
Huh, using the GoldenEye alarm sound effects.
Yes.
Stupid
Dude, it's like this guy's a Bond fan or something. He's still in a dream.
Call into the night.
I prefer Snake Eater, but Call him to Night is good too.
God bless Smash for including that theme.
There you go.
Actually included both of those.
I mean, come on. I mean, Ocelot. The truth of the matter. I mean, Solidus is a clone of Big Boss, so he's not just anybody. So he will put up a fight.
well, in this, if I recall correctly, it's actually the virus that Otacon sister uploaded that finally is taking took its time to actually go through.
Damn the Patriots.
Your outfit's still ridiculous.
It's like the clip from MST3K. Ha 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 ha! Your costume looks ridiculous.
It's partly. It's partly. It's partly inspired by Doc Ock. Yeah.
It really feels like the tentacles should start from behind and not from the front wall. Oh shit! God damn it, Snake!
Snake, you had one job.
I and he's not very good at it.
Bring him in.
He did told us the clap of his ass cheeks keeps alerting the gods.
Oh crap.
Wait,
Raiden.
kill me already.
Alright.
Raiden died.
And now you get an opportunity to save just in case. So we'll not save just yet.
Oh.
Oh, okay then.
And then Pedro's power went out.
This is basically Shiro. This was before auto saving was a standard in the industry.
I admit
So
that I underestimated you. I'll squeeze the answers out of you instead, my son.
I'm not your son.
just like last time. Remember, he raised them whips. So yeah, technically you can.
It's oxygen. But
The sad matter is that Solidus is the closest thing Raiden has to a father. That's the sad part. Like last time, press triangle or Y repeatedly to fight.
What do you mean?
That's not your business.
Oh?
It so happens I have some business of my own to attend to.
Planning to hijack Arsenal?
Huh?
You were going to screw me over, weren't you?
No.
Everybody betrayed me.
You were going to become the president of Arsenal, weren't you?
Just the idea to you in the first place.
You're gonna
Yeah,
be the
how'd you
Arsenal
know?
owner.
Because you just
I
told me.
was planning to give you Arsenal to begin with.
Why the uncharacteristic generosity?
Because Arsenal sucks anyway, so.
Arsenal is
Yeah,
far
just
from
take
true.
it.
All the hot takes today, aren't we, Lips?
Payload of warheads and full
Gee, a Chelsea
old
fan.
here, apparently, so.
Gee, a Chelsea fan making fun of Arsenal every chance he gets.
Arsenal is nothing more than a gigantic coffin.
Arsenal is no more than a giant coffin.
Okay. I'm convinced this is just Solidus being salty that his plans got mucked with. He's going like,
Oh, it is.
you know what? I didn't even care about Arsenal. You know what? I never cared about Arsenal anyway. It's
Digital
dumb.
information flow with GW and
Oh,
Arsenal.
it begins.
That means the information they want to filter out is contained in GW,
All right.
including that list of the highest 12 members of the Patriots Wiseman's Committee.
And once you knew who they were, you would cross out their names one by one. While we, with our useless arsenal, drew their fire.
So there you go, dudes. Arsenal was just a distract, a bait. Was just bait. A means to an end.
But your
course
plans
it
hit a
was.
snag with GW destroyed, hasn't it?
So there you go. Solidus wants to take down the Patriots.
Another way.
And Arsenal.
Really?
Was kind of clear from
We
the
have our own
get-go.
plans
It's
to
just
carry
he
out.
seems to shift his plans on how
We'll
he
take
wants
the
to do it
arsenal
every
since you
few
don't care
hours.
for
That's
anyway.
called the goalpost
The
moving.
purified hydrogen bomb is ready to go.
A nuclear strike.
He's
will
flexible with
stop
his
them.
plans.
It will damage their power source. The
The sad matter, Shiro, is that technically I can kinda partly side with Solidus because he wants to stop them from their big censorship plan. So his goal is not entirely bad.
But you basically want to replace with a dictatorship.
True.
Not much different from what Big Boss was.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I said partly too.
What exactly do you find
Go on.
so funny?
This is also kind of a bit awkward in hindsight when we learn more about the Patriots and Metal Gear Solid 4, but yeah, no, Solidus may think he has good intentions, but when you really get down to it,
What are you talking about?
like... Oh, don't get me wrong, what the
Yeah, so that
Patriots
was
are
time
doing
for
is
also not
messy.
to do the obvious thing.
Exercise.
The
No,
S3 plan
go
was
away.
conceived as a means to produce soldiers on par with Solid Snake.
And there you go.
That's what I told you. But the VR training the boy was put through is not the meat
So
of the
there you go.
project.
Raiden was not even important.
Raiden has been a puppet of the Patriots this whole long. He's been a specific plan to prove that you can produce super soldiers like Solid Snake via artificial means.
Orchestrated recreation of Shadow Moses.
So
There
there
you
you go.
go.
It turns out Solidus's plan was just made into goddamn training.
Turns
That's why the events were so coincidental.
Exactly.
They gave terrorists the named units of the bosses and everything.
there you
I will
go.
give it credit. While I may have issues with the story, it does have probably one of the most clever reasons for repeating plot points. in
The entire
show.
the entire thing was a simulation for the Patriots to turn Raiden into their own personal Solid Snake.
As for the
Which does arise its own issues I have with the plot, but no, I will say this plot twist is pretty keen. Cause like,
And it's gonna get even better when we realize the meta aspect of it later on.
It was also designed to eliminate every scrap of information regarding the Patriots from GW. Your plan was invalidated even before.
Haha, turns out Solid as I was playing you like a damn. You know what? I've done that reference already.
Man was a different story.
You're all
Solid-
double-crossing
He's one of
each
our own
other,
people.
okay? Just
A sort of examiner we
Deal with your
hired to
shit.
test the boys'
Yep,
progress.
even
before
Fat
letting
Man
them
was
tackle
in on
the
it.
exercise
Mhm.
proper.
everyone's
We
involved.
had to arrange for Stillman's presence to coax the maniac into agreeing. If the boy had allowed the big shell to be destroyed, this exercise would have ended there.
So there you go, Shiro. Every single thing Raiden has done up until this point has been carefully planned by the Patriots.
What do you mean?
Given the right situation, the right story, anyone can be shaped into Snake.
but like I said,
Even rookies
I
can
really
fight
do
like
enjoy
men
the
with
plot twist that it,
experience.
like this was all a training mission. I do have issues with the context and the potency of the twist, though, because I do feel like at some point it becomes about you just can't tell what's real or not. And I do feel like sometimes that is a bit of an issue. But I'll explain
Yeah, I
more
get why
later.
some people would have a problem with this.
It gets, well, not for the game, but it's a quote that I wanted to mention later.
There's also you'll see, Shiro. This is actually going even further, as you'll see.
Oh no, like as of now, I don't really have a problem with this.
So, no, that's what I mean. What I mean is that there's actually much more to this than even what you know right now. Trust me, this only gets deeper into the rabbit hole. The rabbit hole. We're still halfway through our fall into the rabbit hole, Shiroi. We're only halfway there yet.
So, I am pleased to announce that you all passed with high marks. Enjoy your graduation, if you can survive that long.
Oh no, it's the Teen Titans Young Justice graduation day.
Enjoy your graduation, death.
Well, that's kind of what he's gonna do, actually.
Told that the eradication of Dead Cell 6 months ago was an act of the Patriots. We provoked and encouraged your hatred.
So even Fortune has been manipulated by the Patriots.
For vengeance.
Yeah, Kojima was really getting the mileage out of that crotch shot, wasn't he?
Yup.
Yes, yes he was.
Shiroi, I'm gonna take a cue from you. He's just horny. It's okay.
Sure, you think that's bad? Wait until you meet Quiet.
Oh, she already knows about Quiet. Remember, she watched the 2015 Game Awards with us. So.
Also, as I've said before, a lot of animators would just have much easier lives if they would just admit that they're horny.
Yeah. Or just make.
And now Fortune's
Or they could just make hentais. Like, and people go, "Oh, you're just horny." Well, I'm making hentais. What do you think? What did you expect?
You have nothing that we didn't give you.
Yeah,
So
turns
then-
out Fortune wasn't even really truly lucky. It was just an electromagnetic field that they had around her that
Which
Ocelot
also
just turned
means
off.
that if anyone wanted to actually stab her, like Raiden with his katana, they could have done that.
Well, no. I think it's implied that
New
she
Age.
always had that electromagnetic field as long as Ocelot wanted it to. Ocelot just recently turned it off, I think. Watch this.
Yet another puppet in this play.
Shielded by the electromagnetic weapons technology that the Patriots developed.
The Patriots are the ones that made your cup of tea when I got
Edwebs, the Patriots are the ones who decide who wins the Premier League.
Remember,
No,
yeah.
Patriots did it.
again, there is.
What year was this game set in?
2009.
Oh,
Yeah.
You were handing it up.
We have won the Premier League a couple of times since then, so...
And yes, one bout of foreshadowing was the fact that all the bugs parted a certain field around Fortune.
You couldn't get enough of the drama.
Okay, I do like that line. Ocelot's going, you were so hung up on your own drama that you couldn't figure out the blatantly obvious drama queen.
You're getting sloppy, Ocelot.
Yep. I must be age.
Let's be honest, he probably missed on purpose just because he wanted to regale her with that little takedown verbally.
Your heart's on the right.
Yeah, that's another thing. Fortune is genetically different. I don't know whether it's a specific term. Essentially, where your organs are mirrored. You know, they are in the opposite place where they should be. It's actually a possible condition. It's not really that. Usually, it's not really giving you that much problems.
That compared to some other possible birth conditions, that's not too bad from what I can gather.
Oh, by the way, have I mentioned that I was the one who actually killed your loved one, Fortune? Just thought I'd... Alright.
It was me, Perry.
Remember, we the player already knew from the get-go that it was Ocelot who caused it, but the Patriots made sure Snake was the one who got the blame. So, which is why Fortune has been blaming Snake for.
Yeah, Revenue's just like fuck my life.
So yeah, of course the person who comes out on top is, once again,
Ocelot. Always Ocelot. As you've already realized, Shiroi, Ocelot is the reoccurring big bad guy, person of this franchise.
He's not necessarily the recurring big bad of the franchise, but he is probably the most recurring character from the entire franchise.
Do it.
Oh.
That's lucky.
I have a question, because I've already seen the scene, so
I
guess there's no harm in asking. Is he the one you often find to get that special little
I'm sorry, Shiroi.
paradox stuff?
Oh, that, yes, Shiroi. Don't worry, Shiroi, we're doing Snake Eater after the season 2 of Tangled, so you'll see that for yourself. But yes, that young Ocelot is played by Josh Keaton, aka Spectacular Spider-Man.
Or like Forced to.
Yeah, more like what's the opposite? It's like Infortune or Disfortune. I don't know. I forgot what it was.
You've been waiting all day to make that pun, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. I mean, come on. I mean, what's the fun part of it? Look. If I don't get to say these things, what's the fun in being a big evil terrorist?
Everybody down.
Oh fuck. Oh, turns out, and here's a bit of tragic irony. I guess Fortune really is lucky.
Apparently we all are.
What the? Impossible.
Fire everything.
Yeah, this is like that scene from Star Trek 2009.
Yep.
You have the worst aim, sir.
She's right there.
Eric Bana is Ocelot.
It's like Mushu says that there's like, you missed! How could you miss him? He was right in front of you!
Your name is Helena Dolph Jackson, the daughter of a proud and noble soldier. I can see my family again.
And with that, there now only remains one member left of Solidus's band.
I guess Fortune is... What's the right pun to use here?
Her luck has run out.
That's too obvious.
Again, also I beat you to that one.
Yeah.
She has suffered a great misfortune.
Yeah, true. Oh crap.
What a weird game that is.
Oh crap.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh god, not again.
Liquid!
Right, the best possible moment, I guess.
Ocelot, can you just use your other hand?
Haha! For you see, Snake, I'm back!
You really come back at the worst of times, you know that?
I guess you can. Look, I still have to beat you at something! I will not go away until I beat you at something!
Why don't you just play Monopoly or something?
Liquid.
Hey! Now, if only we had Gas Snake with us.
I've been waiting for this.
It can't be.
But it is.
I've been inside this arm all along, waiting for the right time to awaken.
You were inside Ocelot?
Yes,
Ew.
a sleeper in the arm of a patriot
At least
spy.
that's a dream.
It was you 2 years
No,
ago.
right?
Exactly. I was controlling him. Snake, it was I that leaked information about Arsenal to your partner and got you out here.
What?
Aha!
The only one that can free me. After all,
So Liquid also wants to take down Arsenal.
I'm off to bury the Patriots for good.
You know where they are? How?
And
Everyone hates Arsenal.
Yeah, we might as well call this part Everybody Hates Arsenal.
My host.
Marky wants to take... Marky
There's
Marky
room for
wants to
only
take
one
out the
Snake
Patriots,
and
but
one
yeah.
big boss.
Huh.
Objection?
Interesting.
Haha. Looks like I'm the one who's lucky now.
Now remember, he has the electromagnetic
I know that's
field.
what I'm referencing. Looks like I made my own luck.
Either that or it really is that terrible a shot. Yeah, Fortune, give me half of these
Oh, right. Flag surfing? Also, hold on.
Bungo?
Hold on. Kaiju reference in 3, 2, 1.
Liquid, stop this thing.
Okay, hey David, you could have delivered a bit better that line.
Literally broke.
There you go. Godzilla reference.
A couple of lines living across this game that are
He literally
Dun dun dun
broke
dun dun.
3 of those
Dun dun
handcuffs.
dun. Oh crap.
fail a QTE.
No, this game does not have QTEs. This was before... Well, actually... Shenmue came out in 1999. It was still a bit too early for this game to implement QTEs. And even then...
And there you go, this is where that to be worked, because Arsenal is on a course collision.
With Manhattan.
New York City.
Yeah, basically, originally Arsenal was going to destroy the entirety of New York, but shortly before the game came out, 9/11 happened. So yeah, the developers had to, in a hurry, remove that cutscene from the game. It creates kind of it removes a bit of a transition issue. However, I'm gonna give the developers a get out of jail free card on this one, because can you really blame them?
Yeah.
We're just like this. Let's just.
No, that was not their fault.
Yeah, no.
Although,
Oh, yeah, no,
if I
I'm
recall
fine with
correctly,
this too.
nobody has managed yet to find the original cutscene. It was just the snippets that we saw in the
I don't think
trailer.
the original cutscene was actually fully finished. So.
Potentially, it's not the first time, however, that the media that we thought was lost in the hands of developers pops up from the internet, so who knows what the future holds.
Alright, now, Shiroi, sit back, relax, and enjoy what is, in my opinion, the greatest moment in this entire game. Kojima's about to predict the next 20 years after this game came out.
Can we get rid of the fog fist so I can see what's going on?
Oh, don't worry, it will all be done in a codec call, so you won't be seeing the fog
Oh,
anyway.
great, lovely, thank you.
Kind of makes you wonder why in a codec call.
Also,
Well, Jova, it's the only way that certain someone can talk to Raiden, so...
200 years ago today.
Well, I know about that bit, but I wonder why he
We were
chooses
going to
speak
declare
Raiden
another
in that.
independence. The dawn of a new nation. Here.
We're gonna call ourselves the United States of America.
So does that mean that for authenticity's sake you're gonna have dentures made out of wood?
Fun fact, the digital versions of this game had to be recently taken down because Konami ran out of their rights for this public domain footage, because the live action footage is copyrighted, so they...
At any cost. Jack, it's not power I want. What I wanted to take back from the Patriots are things like freedom, civil rights, opportunities.
Sure you do.
The founding principles of this country. Everything
Where are all the
about to
people?
be wiped out by their digital...
remember...
The area is being evacuated.
Remember, Dwez, we had to cut out like an entire section of possibly that happening because, yeah. So I'm going to give the developer some slack on this one.
Okay, I'll be honest. I think even in the original version, there weren't going to be people around because...
Mostly just buildings being destroyed because PS2 technology.
The data of life is transferred from...
Don't worry though, the people will show up later.
Alright, so yeah, genes.
But we have no heirs, no legacy. We brothers are called les enfants terribles.
Hey, that's a reference to the first game.
With the ability to reproduce conveniently.
Being clones, they're basically sterile in terms of
Yeah,
reproduction.
that means that Snake cannot reproduce.
Proof of our existence, a mark of some
Can he?
Okay.
There we go.
Sorry, no.
I always figure at some point it was gonna be a plot twist that he could, until Kojima had to course correct with Metal Gear Solid 4, but that's for another time.
All I want is to be remembered by other people.
You have to load the scene.
The Patriots are trying to protect their power, their own interests, by controlling the digital flow of information. I want my memory, my existence to remain. Unlike an intron of history, I will be remembered as an axon. That will be my
like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I thought you were gonna say I will remember as an
The Patriots will
X-Man.
deny us even that. I will triumph over the Patriots and liberate us all.
Listen to me,
And we
Ryzen.
will become
Even though I have tried to kill you on a few occasions,
Oh,
I'm
hold
on
on.
the level.
Title of the game, yeah. And now, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy.
Oh, man.
Here we go.
I'm scared.
Raiden, are you receiving? We're still here.
You
How's
sure
that
are.
possible? The AI was destroyed.
Only GW.
Who are you?
To begin with, we're not what you'd call human. Over the past 200 years, a kind of consciousness formed layer by layer in the crucible of the White House. It's not unlike the way life started in the oceans 4 billion years ago. The White House was our primordial soup, a base of evolution. We are formless. We are the very discipline and morality that Americans invoke so often. How can anyone hope to eliminate us?
Illuminati spooks.
By the way, Paul Hiding is particularly very vocal about how proud he is of this particular scene that he had to perform.
And now it's so rude because I think someone made an AI copy of his voice. Thanks, Internet.
Don't you know that our plans have your interests?
Listen here.
Jack, listen carefully, like a good boy.
The mapping of the human genome.
Well, now the AI is even copying Rose.
The evolutionary log of it is greatly open to us.
We started with genetic engineering, and in the end, we succeeded in digitizing life itself.
But there are things not covered by genetic information.
What do you mean?
Human memories, ideas, culture, history.
True.
Genes don't contain any record of human history.
Is it something that should not be passed on? Should that information be left at the mercy of nature?
We've always kept records of our lives, through words, pictures, symbols, from tablets to books.
But not all the information was inherited by later generations. A small percentage of the whole was selected and processed, then passed on. Not unlike genes, really.
That's what history is, Jack.
But in the current digitized world, trivial information
here we go.
every second, preserved in all its triteness, never fading, always.
Yup.
Imagine that ever happening.
Issues, misinterpretation, slander.
All this junk data, preserved in an unfiltered state, growing at an alarming rate.
It will only slow down social progress, reduce the rate of evolution.
Right. You seem to think that our plan is one of censorship.
Are you telling me it's not?
You're being silly. What we propose to do is not to control content, but to create context.
Create context?
The digital society furthers human flaws and selectively rewards development of convenient half-truths. Just look at the strange juxtapositions of morality around you.
Billions spent on new weapons in order to humanely murder other humans.
Rights of criminals are given more respect than the privacy of their victims.
Although there are people suffering in poverty, huge donations are made to protect.
To be fair, that's
endangered
kind of what it was
species.
like even back
Everyone
then
grows
too.
up being told the same thing.
Yeah, like none of this
nice
is
to other
new
people.
even by this point.
But beat out the competition.
Like, the main
More
thing
like
that
a-
changed was that
the digital
like,
information.
You will
Yeah.
succeed.
But it's
The main thing
obvious
that
from the
changed
start
was,
that only
ironically
you
enough,
can
the
succeed.
digital source of information
exercise your
made
right
this
to dream.
info a lot
And
more
this
easy
is
to
the
come
result.
by.
Oh, don't worry, Shiro, it's gonna get better.
To avoid conflict and protect each other from hurt. The untested truths, spun by different interests, continue to churn and accumulate in the sandbox of political correctness and value systems.
Everyone withdraws into their own small gated community, afraid of a larger forum. They stay inside their little ponds, leaking whatever
Well,
truth
excuse
suits
me
them
if I
into
don't
the
want to go
growing
on social
cesspool of
media.
society at large.
Yeah, this game is literally describing social media as it exists today.
No one is invalidated, but nobody is right.
Not even natural
Again,
selection
that's
can take place
sadly
here.
kind of
The
what it
world
was
is
like
being
even back
engulfed
then
in
too,
truth.
just not nearly on as big a scale as it is
Not with
now.
a bang, but a
Hey, a quote
We're
from Thomas
trying to
Stearns
stop
Eliot.
them from
So, and that's there you go, Shiro. The Patriots want to stop Twitter and social media in general from destroying the world.
unnecessary
Well,
information
you know,
You
and
know,
Give him
that's
the
not a
truck.
bad goal in
filtered
itself,
out
but
to stimulate
are we not
the
to let
evolution of
not
the species.
allow AI to
And
do
you
that?
think you're qualified to
Thanks.
decide what's necessary and
Yeah,
not?
here you go. There you go, Terry.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Who else could wade through the sea of garbage you people produce, retrieve valuable truths, and even interpret their meaning for later generations?
So
That's what
you're
it means to
cherry
create
picking.
context.
I'll
Pretty
decide
much.
Literally.
what to believe and what to pass on.
You're doing
Or
what
is that
you're
even your
criticizing.
own idea?
Or something
No, that's the thing, Shiro. Remember,
More complicated than that. Well, slightly more complicated.
remember, Shiro. He even compared this to genes. Like, not all genes get passed on through through evolution. Because only the stronger genes survive. In the same way, they want only the important information to survive, and something like a rumor about the celebrity's love life, that kind of information they consider disposable. That's not important to human society and evolution. Therefore, that should be thrown away. It's useless.
Another possibility is that self is a concept you conveniently borrowed under the logic that would endow
But then
you
they
with
get
some
to
sense
pick
of
what
strength.
of the
Yeah, that's the thing, Shiro. That's the thing, Shiro. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, obviously, that's also the problem that they're the ones who get to pick that, and like even Raiden said, and you think you're qualified to decide what's necessary and what's not. They think they do, because unlike us, they're not human. Therefore, they don't have any biases.
And they just got on the radio skin again.
Yeah.
Don't think you'll find anything.
This is our education system's history classes in a nutshell.
Yeah.
These cheap-handed beer taste
Every
great.
time something goes wrong, you turn around and
Basically, Shiro, there's a shit ton of YouTube essays about how this coded call is brilliant for all of for how incredibly relevant it is 20 years after.
Not talking AI rules, but Biden
Yeah.
never really did that.
True, but they make a good point. That's what we humans do. We leave the so-called truth once we find something that's more convenient for us.
Should someone like you even have the right to decide?
Not a bad point.
use your freedom.
You don't deserve to be
Again,
free.
given where it's coming from, though, no, that's kind of a load of
Individual
bunk
is
that they
supposed
say,
to
oh,
be
you
weak,
shouldn't have
but
the right
far
to
from
decide.
powerless. A single person has the potential to ruin the world.
And the age of
Oh, here you go.
digitized communication has given even more power to the individual. Too much power for an immature species.
There you go. That line, that's my favorite line. Like, that describes people on the internet so well. Too much power for an immature species.
Now, we think for
I
you.
feel like it's going for a bit of an absolutist bout on their part, which is like, yeah, some people are like that, but not all, which is again where the flaws.
Yeah, well, they're the villains, so.
This is like clearly supposed to be about.
Their basic idea is that we humans cannot be trusted with so much power, which is not entirely wrong.
We rule an entire nation. Of what interest would a single soldier, no matter how able, be to us?
The S3 plan does not stand for solid snake simulation. What it does stand for is selection for societal sanity.
There you go. Now we're going to explain exactly what exactly was Raiden's part in this.
Won't lie. By this point in the game, I do wonder if Kojima was kind of just writing this as he went, because that is now at least 5 plot inversions we've gone through.
It is a method, a protocol that created a circumstance that made you what you are.
So you see, we're the S3, not you.
Sure.
The S3 was the friends we made
telling
along
yourself
the way. Yeah.
Okay. I also like this part here, where this is where the game gets meta again.
Was the final test of its effectiveness.
That's crazy.
You heard what President Johnson said.
The Arsenal's GW system is the key to their supremacy.
The objective of this exercise was to establish such a method. We used Shadow Moses as a paradigm for the exercise.
I wonder if you would have preferred a fantasy setting.
I'm guessing you would prefer a fantasy setting too?
That backdrop because of its extreme circumstances. It was an optimal test for S3's crisis management
medieval times.
If the monk could trigger, control, and solve
Sounds
this,
fun,
it could be
Roy?
ready for any contingency. And now, we have our proof.
Kojima really needs to come down from this high of his.
Alright.
I don't know, Shiro, I think it's great.
Alright, listen here.
Right. There are also reasons behind your selection. Solidus raised plenty of other child soldiers. Do you know why we chose you over them? It was because you were the only one who refused to acknowledge the past.
Yeah, true.
We all know running from the past is a losing game.
Exactly.
But you turn your back on everything you don't like. You do whatever you like. See only the things you like.
Just like a lot of people on the internet.
Yeah. Rose can attest to that.
You refused to see me for what I was.
I mean,
I
it's
lied
not
to
even
you,
Rose, is
but
it?
I
That's
wanted
the
to
AI.
be
Yeah.
You pretended to
Or
be
is it?
understanding, to be a
Well, we'll find out later.
Is it what the AI is saying, or are these
They're using Rose to get to under her skin. Remember, at this point, Rose is being trapped by the Patriots as an hostage.
True, but what she's saying about Rose sentiments are
Yeah,
what
true.
she actually the real Rose feelings.
Maybe.
That's the entire point also of this conversation. What is real and what is not anymore.
Yeah,
Even
basically.
if you claim that it was for my sake, that feeling was nowhere to be seen. In the end,
As
everything
riveting as this conversation goes, I'll admit, I think this point would have probably been a good part to maybe try and cap things a bit short and, you know...
Oh, you go. Listen here.
We need to protect. This is why we chose you. You accepted the fiction we've provided, obeyed our orders, and did everything you were told to.
Wow! Talk about putting the player on the spot. You obeyed our orders. You did everything we told you to do. By that we mean you, the player. Which, yeah, hey, it worked, right? You followed. We followed every orders we've done. We've given you up until this point, didn't you? Basically, there you go, Shiro. Metal Gear Solid 2 is a social experiment where Kojima uses the Metal Gear fanbase to prove that it's very easy to manipulate a person's to manipulate people, basically, specifically with digital information. So basically, Shiro, this game is about how digital information is about it can be used to manipulate people and lie and deceit. Except instead of just saying these things, it proves it by doing it to the player.
The death of Olga's child. Not to mention the death of Rose. She's wired the same way.
I mean, to be honest, I would have been more spooked out by that bit, but again, that's supposed with how Metal Gear Solid paces these cutscenes.
Yeah, and kind of hard for me to care about Rose being held captive. I legit care more for the child who we haven't seen than I do about Rose at this point.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Oh, sure.
I will say I do like how they emphasize the player involvement with, you know, text hints that Raiden obviously isn't gonna see because he's just hearing this. They're the only one reading anything.
Get the courtesy of just waiting, Shirai.
Jack, my son.
So was Solidus just watching Raiden listening to that codec call the whole time?
It's kind of like how Liquid was also waiting for Snake to listen to this entire big codec call as well before they started their fight.
You
see, there's an unwritten rule where if someone's busy having a codec call, you politely wait till they're done. It's common courtesies in the Metal Gear universe.
Same thing for, you know, Sentai transformations and stuff.
Oh yeah, by the way, I was the one who killed your parents. Thought I would just get that out there.
But it's like you usually say, I'm on the phone. Don't be rude. Just wait.
Also, I got like they solved that bit up in 5 seconds. Yet all the other bit took like 10 minutes.
Well, they're explaining now, actually.
Someone else's creation. We're repeating history, Jack. Liquid and Solid hunted down
boy,
Big
again.
Boss,
Just
trying to
consider
sever
this
the tie
something
that
of a
bound them to
preview
him.
for what you're in
Unless
store
you
for
kill
in Metal
me
Gear
and face
Solid
your
4
past,
with how much
Jack,
cutscenes
you will never
over
escape.
gameplay there can
You'll
be.
stay in an endless loop.
We still
Your
have a
own
third of
double
this
helix.
left.
I
A
know,
couple of
right?
these are the credits, Shirai.
Oh, right.
Yep.
The credits make up like...
Yeah, the credits are big, so they take a bit. Yep.
Ah, they're still a while away.
Yeah, no, there still is quite a while to go.
Because Raiden in half.
Well, if it helps you, we're about to start the final boss fight.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if Solid just threw the sword too hard and it cut Raiden in half or something?
So there you go, Raiden's first ever sword fight.
The clues to the Patriots inside
Kojima's
GW
also been
have
getting
erased,
mileage out of
but there are
slow-mo
other
within this
traces.
last hour.
Inside you. What?
Oh.
You.
The information is being carried by the
Not like that, son.
and throughout the neural network.
This isn't Bowser's inside story.
What's Bowser's inside story?
Wait, hold on. It's 2009, so shouldn't we actually know what that game is now?
And remember, this game is all about predicted in the future. So there you go. This game also predicted Mario and Luigi Bowser's inside story. There you go. Why not? Why not at this point?
Remember, Pedro, the year's 2009, so technically.
Let me use the let me use the fight to mention the code that I mentioned. I was curious about to check a couple of different opinions of it, and keep in mind, remember what I'm about to say is from a place that can be edited really by anyone. So this is not by an objective opinion, just something that someone posted, and I will call them out for that in a second. Someone on the recap page of this game on TV Tropes about this old meta twist decided to use this paragraph. The fact that Raiden was so detested by the fan base is put into sharp focus. He is an indictmental said fan base, he is a weak, effeminate failure, classy, who acts out escapist fantasy of being super soldier by playing video games. He is an encapsulation of the series Aesop, only an awful person will want to be an action hero, Raiden does, the player does too, and that makes you both absolute monsters, you suck. Personally, I did this, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Go and read one more day, that is an actual example of what you're talking about.
Yeah, definitely. That's not
The
really.
whole Raiden being a feminine thing is a thing Kojima has mentioned did not age as well, with the president literally grabbing his crotch because he thought he was a girl, but no, not to that extent. Like, I have issues with this ending, but okay, I will say. Hold on,
Codec call.
Right, you have to beat Solidus. This is your last duty.
We're not just
what do you think I'm doing?
Game, you know?
Yes, you are. You're nothing but mere weapons. No different.
There you go. Look at her. Look at her white eyes. Yeah. So there you go.
Destroyed 4 years ago was Rex.
The new amphibious model is Ray.
Both of these are the same as the code names used by the U.S. Armed Forces to refer to Japanese warplanes during World War II.
Thanks for the trivia.
Comes from the Japanese Navy's name for one of its interceptors.
Why are you telling me this now?
Because trivia.
And then Solidus just stops Raiden while he's doing this.
Remember, Dribs.
Yeah, 'cause that was happening mid-attack.
Remember, Dribs. Unwritten rule in the Metal Gear universe. It's common courtesy to wait while someone is having a codec call.
But why were they right in front of them?
But does that mean
If anything,
that's
I kind of wish they would have the series never had this, but I kind of wish they have the mechanic where if you're interrupting with a codec call, the boss regains a bit of health in the meantime.
Yeah, like they're having a little rest.
But yeah, that's the basic gist of it, Shiroi. This entire game was a social experiment with you as the guinea pig, to see, and by you I mean, of course, Metal Gear players in general, all that stuff. Basically the idea was exactly that, to demonstrate how digital information can be easily used to manipulate people. So the game does that to the player by constantly pulling the wool over your eyes with all the stuff that we've seen throughout the entire game.
Yeah, every time someone says social experiment, it reminds me of that fake tweet people put out after the Fire Festival, that where basically that John said,
Have I mentioned
experiment?
Have I mentioned that this game was made after the first Matrix movie? You know.
Surprisingly, we don't really have a shot about the capture dodging bullets like the Act 3 did.
And there you go. That being said, yeah, putting an end to his dark past, Raiden kills Solidus.
No hard feelings, Pops.
You were a shit father anyway.
Yep.
Like a really shit one.
Yep.
I
hated you. By killing my own parents.
Not to mention the way you raised me was absolutely monstrous.
And Bluebird starts appearing the thingy in the background. Seriously, this is like how.
I would so love it if Solidus fell on Abraham Lincoln's lap.
No, instead we're in the George Washington the monument instead.
I know the Washington moment, but it would have been so funny to see.
Hey, that's the people of the franchise.
Yep.
Raiden, we're still here.
Oh, all's well that ends well, right?
Actually, they are. Actually, yes. Alright, and that was the final boss. Now time for the ending.
Pretty long ending. That looks like he's trying to force choke somebody.
Jova, did the founding? You're the American. Did the
George Washington. George Washington is like somebody objects to the Constitution.
You see Benjamin Franklin and be like,
Yeah, that's what happened. What's what happened? Somebody objected to the signing of the Constitution, and George Washington was all like, "I find your lack of faith disturbing."
No, he's just like trying to give people a head pat.
Nice of him.
And now Raiden doesn't know is wondering what to do because his entire life up until this now. His entire life up until this point. Yeah, go on.
Maybe you should start by going to rescue Olga's daughter.
Okay, if in case you're being confused,
and suddenly the people show up.
This particular ending type of the character standing alone while the more common people roam around them, it's very common in Japanese media. Chrono Cross also ends in a similar way.
I like what's.
It's time to live your coffee shop EU.
Actually, that's kind of what Snake is about to tell him. Like, it's not time for you to live your life now. Don't let yourself be told what you are. Shit like
Go
that.
home, Raiden. Oh no, wait, you can't.
Don't expect the government to help you get therapy.
Yeah. That's what Snake just said. Like, there is no such thing as an absolute reality.
Is only as real as your brain tells you it is. Then, what am I supposed to believe in? What am I going to leave behind when I'm through? We can tell other people about having faith. What
Join the church to emphasize that.
What we found important.
You had faith in the subway?
It's not whether you are right or wrong.
And this random horse?
Yes.
That horse could very much deter.
The Patriots are
pretty sure it's that
fiction too. Come to think of it. Listen, don't
Oh,
obsess
FedEx.
with words so much. Find the meaning
Van Eyck's words, then decide. You can find your own name.
Packages right
Haha, you can find your own name.
And whatever you choose.
Rising will show us the answer to that, believe it or not.
We'll get to
I
that.
really do get the feeling that Rising was Kojima sort of taking another crack at this type of story after... well, some people weren't too fond of it. I'll explain more later.
I do have a complaint, but I'll save it for a little bit.
New memories. Choose your own legacy.
Times Square.
It's for you to decide. It's up to you. By the way, what is that?
What? Oh, the dog tag.
Dog tags.
Codename Raiden. Alright, basically, remember how when you first start the game you had to input a name? That's the name that's on that dog tag.
Wait, in American dates, isn't 04 the month they're coming first? And then this the day.
Wait.
I
Never
was
heard
born
the
on
name.
April Fool's Day.
Oh wow.
There you go, see? See? So Raiden is done, and he's going to decide what he is from this point on, not what somebody else tells him he is.
Still be called Raiden.
I mean, if
So
you
it's kind of
the name.
Well, I mean, the name is meant to be like it's not meant to be taken literally when he says that. Like it's more about identity rather than the actual word itself.
I'll find him. Count on it.
Oh yeah, you'll find that child, a him, who is absolutely totally a boy.
Bandana. Well, at this point they didn't need it, probably.
Yeah, whatever. They didn't know yet.
I put a transmitter on his ray.
Did he head for the Patriots?
Yeah, but I have a feeling they gave Ocelot a bogus location to begin with.
Gotta be. Can never be too careful. Yeah.
Cheer up. We have a better lead.
So,
This contains the
Pedro,
list of all the
you
Patriots.
told me before that this game was apparently supposed to be like
The one we gave you
the
wasn't
end
the
for
real
Snake's story? Or, are
Yes.
you
Well,
sure
I'll,
about that, right?
well, Kojima did talk about that. Yes, like he originally intended this to be the end of the Solid Snake saga. Yes. However, since fans really wanted to see what happens after this, he decided to go back on that decision.
I get it.
I will say this, given how the story ends, it would have been very weird if that's really how Snake's story ended.
Keep in mind this
But
is
I
not.
digress.
Keep in mind this is not. This is just my take on the matter. I get the feeling Kojima wanted to leave the ending open so that people could debate about what would be the right aspect, like so people could actually debate on the topics we've just covered, and for the debate, not to give a definitive answer. That was his original idea, to leave this in the open so that people can. And there's the real Rose, and there's Rose.
I gotta say, the Patriots were really nice letting her go for.
I know, right? Like, what happened to that whole I'm being held captive by the Patriots?
Oh, they did mention
just
that.
let me-
Yeah, they did mention.
Feel that final beat of the end of the arc.
Yeah, they did mention that if Raiden had killed Solidus, they would do that. So to be fair, but anyway.
Yeah, but they never said anything about letting her go. But I guess they did.
I guess it's his reward for being a good boy, I guess. But yeah, my take, Jova, is that, like I said, I get the feeling. Oh, there's EE's parrot. I get the feeling Kojima really wanted people to do this in the opens for people to discuss and voice their own opinion on the topics that we just covered, and not give a definitive.
I'll get you in a second at the credits, Pedro, on that.
Yeah, because the way they end Snake's bit after the credits
No,
is...
it's not even that, Jova.
Well, I'm messaging my bit, though. I feel like if he wanted people to just talk about that, then he probably wouldn't have ended the game the way he did. But let's talk about this.
For what I am, okay?
I don't care for this. I mean, I don't care for Rose, and I
Sure.
know some people may say, maybe the Rose we didn't like was the AI all along. Well, then in that case, we know absolutely nothing about Rose.
Yep.
So
Oh, no,
it's
sure.
either she's pretty terrible to Raiden, or she's a nothing character in this game. I'm sorry, I tried with her.
Pretty much everybody agrees that Rose is the main weak link. Like she's like the one universally considered worst part of the game. So that's not. And I agree. Like I mean, I love
the payoff of the entirety of what they was. That's the anniversary of their meeting.
Yep.
Which was pretty easy to guess, admittedly.
I mean, Lara Cody did a good job voicing the AI version of Rose. But
Oh no, Lara Cody is not the problem. Let's get that out of the way right now. Lara Cody is not the problem.
All the voice actors were giving 110%.
Oh, sure.
Wait, wasn't Equinox that company that localized the Titanic Legend Goes On?
Remember, like I said, Paul Hiding is particularly proud and very vocal about his work in this game. So.
It's funny, Tio, because again, Jack and Rose, Titanic reference.
I refuse to believe Kojima knows about that.
So much like at the end of the first game, we also have a message of hope at the end.
Which is admittedly a nice refresher after the whole deluge of just the tragedy, suffering, and supposed pointlessness that the AI ramped onto us.
Jazzy piano music.
Don't you see, Jova? Don't you see, Jova? You are not a weapon. You are who you choose to be. Now choose.
That's a guy posing in front of a statue, so yeah.
This is pretty much how it ends, actually.
Remember, this footage is actually recorded. I don't know if this footage was actually them who recorded. If it was footage that was already existing. I know that this footage is copyrighted. I know that.
To get to briefly what you said about Pedro, I get the idea. One reason this game is particularly not like more in the West, because I know for a fact that Japan had more tolerance towards this is because of the baggage. Japan has had like 2 extra games that they know about, plus whatever spin-off you want.
There's that too.
Mind you,
yeah.
About the story of Snake and everything. Western players had only the first MGS title.
Yeah.
So imagine again having this kind of abrupt ending right after just one game. You kind of get to feel the whiplash. Arguably, I would say this would be perfect to cap off a trilogy instead. You know, because 3 magic number and everything, so it would feel more conclusive, despite having still.
That's why I had that's one part of the big reason why I had us do the first 2 Metal Gears before, because that's the way Kojima intended people to experience the story. So.
Like, mind you, it still leaves things open, like also and everything, but I do wonder if it was taking literally in a sense of just being the solid Snake ending and everything would be moved on. We know from the future that the missing gap between this and then what was going to be MGS4 would have been the initial concept for Rising, again, a game where Raiden would go to rescue Olga's child from the hands of the Patriots while cutting his way through everything, you know. Yes, Pedro?
It says right there, like that one of the writers of the side material we can read in the extras was written by Shio Murata, who after this went on to be a co-writer for MGS3. So
sadly, the plans for that game never happened. I still hope we were gonna get that in some form in the future. I would be fine even with a novel if I had to be just for the sake of closure thing.
Just to give you a basic gist of it, Shiroi, after this, there was a big outcry from Metal Gear fans. What happens to Olga Child? How does this end? Do they ever defeat the Patriots? And everything. So what happened? What happened after? Eventually, they were down, and eventually Kojima, sympathetic with his family, was all like, "Okay, fine, we'll make something else as well." Because that was originally the plan.
Too many questions.
Yeah.
Look, yeah, like I'm gonna say this, Kojima, my main dude. Mad genius. You have a lot of great ideas. I do not think leaving the story with this many open ends and not expecting people to want to see a continuation was one of them. Like,
sure.
I can get the mentality, but nah, there's just way too much left open. And again, the little thing that they do after the credits is just like, no, that is like you're begging for a sequel.
Oh, I understand that. I definitely understand that, Jova. Okay, I know I'm getting a bit ahead of myself right there, but I will say this. What the fans did in order to get said sequel was not cool. Basically, Shiroi, It got so bad to the point where Kojima actually, originally Metal Gear Solid 4, which is the game that is this. Oh, hold on. One more bit on Snake.
Actually, no, it's later. Drop it.
Well, yeah, true. Sorry, I forgot. Sorry. Basically, Shiroi, Metal Gear Solid 4 is the game that continues the storyline all the way to the end. Basically, it's the Avengers Endgame of the franchise. It ties up all the loose ends with a little bow and all that stuff, right? But on this, Shiroi, when Kojima originally, since Kojima at the time was personally done with Solid Snake, he decided to hand the direction duties for Metal Gear Solid 4 to Shigeru Murata, his co-writer for MGS3. And when he announced that, there was a huge backlash to the. Kojima even got death threats because they wanted Kojima to direct the game. I'm not even kidding you. Like, it was really bad back in those days. I will say that I don't give a crap about what kind of story you want. Death threats aren't cool. Fuck off. Anybody who did that. I don't care who you are. Go on.
The people who took it too far, yeah, they took it too far. There is no debate about that. My main point, though, is like, well, again, I just kind of have to laugh at the idea that Kojima thought that people were really just going to be okay with the thing that left questions open. Like, and I'm glad we got that continuation. So, okay, so if I have it correctly, was Metal Gear Solid 3 always in the cards, though? Well, as it was, you know.
No.
I know that another Metal Gear game was planned, but you know.
Allow me. Here's what was going to happen. Yes, he was going to retire the Metal Gear franchise. However, when people really asked for more, Kojima decided, okay, fine. However, since I'm kinda Metal Geared out, I'm gonna ask somebody else at my team to handle it. So here's what happened, Shiroi. This is fun. This is a funny story, Shiroi. He gathered his entire team at Kojima Productions, Shiroi. He told the plant, okay, I want one of you guys to carry on the Metal Gear franchise for me. And he volunteers. Take a wild guess, Shiroi, how many people raised their hands?
Nobody?
None. They all looked at each other to make sure, and then they all looked back at him, and Kojima was all like, okay.
You know?
Even his team, Shiroi, didn't want to make a Metal Gear without him.
You know, now that I think about it, I wonder if this is the reason why Sakurai will probably never retire.
I say, Pedro, the way you said that bit earlier is like, when you were trying to imagine fans' reactions and stuff, like, what happened to Rose? Will this thing happen there? It's like you were saying the next time trailer. Do you want the next time? But, yeah.
No, I will say this. Sorry, go on. No, go on.
Oh, trust me, dude. When you see the scene me and you are referring to that happens after the credits, it legit feels like a next time on.
Let me just finish real quick, Shiroi. Yeah. I will say this, as someone who also is a boss of a group of employees myself in my business, that's something that's very cool to me. The fact that your employees have so much respect for you that they don't want to make it. Sorry.
Aww.
The fact that they don't want to go through this without you. That's pretty cool. I'll say, go on, Shiroi.
This game is making Pedro very emotional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Shiroi. I'm a huge fan. Shiroi. If I haven't made it clear, I love this game. Warts and all. Like,
But I have to say after the credit sequence because I think we're getting it.
Yeah.
Oh boy, here we go.
Probably be more fitting to hold off anyway for what I actually wanted to say.
Watch.
Alright, Kojima. Go for it.
Any minute now. There we go.
Life isn't just about passing on your genes.
True.
We can leave behind much more than just DNA.
Pigeons.
Yes, we can leave behind pigeons.
Literature and movies. What we've
seen.
Even YouTube commentaries.
God damn it.
Anger, joy, and sorrow.
You see this? This is our living legacy right here that we record for you,
Truly
generations of the future.
The spectacle we're passing on to humanity.
We need to pass the torch and let our children read our messy and sad history by its light. We have all the magic
And the
of the digital
ducks.
age to do that.
The ducks will guide them to a brighter future.
Yeah, got any more
The
birds,
human
Kojima?
race will probably come to an end sometime.
Oh,
and new
he's got a
species
load
may
of bull.
evolve for this
Oh,
planet.
seagulls?
Earth
Yes.
may not be forever, but we still have the responsibility to leave what traces of life we can.
Exactly.
Building the
Leave our
future
legacy
and
for
keeping
future
us
generations.
alive are one and the same thing.
That was a bird call in the background there.
Lady Liberty agrees.
We're not done.
And that was Metal Gear Solid 2, a Hideo Kojima game.
Or was it?
Hold on, and now here's the actual MCU style after credit scene.
Snake.
Oh yes.
It's
me. Oh,
I've finished going over that disc.
Did you find the Patriots list?
Of course. It contains the personal data of 12 people. There was a name on it. Snake, it was one of our biggest contributors.
What's going on around here?
Hideo Kojima?
Anyway, where are they?
Well, you were right about them being on Manhattan.
You know, it's funny because Kojima.
They're already dead. All 12 of them.
What?
Yeah.
Excuse
The page.
About 100
Yep.
years ago.
The Patriots are all dead.
The Patriots are all dead, apparently. Yeah, what the hell? Yeah, what the hell indeed?
And that is literally.
You have to wait until MGS4 to do that.
Yeah.
Well, okay. To be fair, there are actually some games that were released before
Yeah.
MGS4 that was starting to do the build-up of the Patriots, which I do wish we could have been commentating around the time. But as Pedro has pointed out to my attention, you technically can connect the dots by the time you get to 4, as long as you've played 3.
Yeah, no, free also sets up things for regarding this.
Basically, Shiroi, Metal Gear Solid 4 was pretty much Metal Gear's equivalent to Kingdom Hearts 3. It had several games building up to it. Metal Gear Solid 3, Portable Ops, and what was that other game that came before Metal Gear Solid 4, Pedro?
Peace Walker.
Peace Walker came after, actually.
No, Peace Walker came after.
No, it was just the first 2 Metal Gears, the Metal Gear Solid trilogy, Portable Ops, and that's it for mainline games.
The only major difference compared to Kingdom Hearts 3 is that, Kingdom Hearts 3 has the Ocelot equivalent character.
Yeah.
More or less survived.
Basically, Shiroi, Kingdom Hearts 3 reveals who's the Ocelot of the Kingdom Hearts franchise, basically.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, but that being said, go on, Shiroi, you wanted to say something?
Waiting was actually the better idea. Like, it doesn't change what I had to say, it just kind of emphasizes it. Imagine,
Go on.
like, I'm with Jova on this, because as much as I enjoyed the experience overall, you get to the end, and, like, imagine, if you will, you pay to get a game you're really looking forward to, have the creators spend hours lying to you through said game, manipulating you, all for narrative purposes, a lot of which are really good, and then leaves you with a bunch of questions.
Yeah, Shiroi.
That are based on actual things that have happened, not just, the manipulation stuff, and it's like, come on, man! How did you think people were going to react to it?
Sure. You just described me in 2001 when I first played this game. Thing is, Shiroi, 20 years later, now I get exactly what it was about. Like, that's the thing. Like, most of us at the time didn't really understand what exactly this game was getting at. Because, like Jova said, even though technically these things were already happening, it wasn't part of the common... What's the name? Like our popular popular consciousness. I think that's also another thing you can say.
Common knowledge.
Yeah. So that's it. Collective consciousness. Thank you too. That's it.
Let me put it like this: the big irony is that as the internet grew, which, man, I need to remind you, the internet was initially actually a secret governmental project before it was available to the public.
Yeah.
And yet, now it is what has brought to light a lot of information that certain parties would definitely not like to get out, for better or for worse.
Yeah, there's the thing. Yeah, basically, Shiroi. Yeah, I was actually like that back in 2001. Like a lot of people were. That's why this game had such a mixed reception in 2001. 20 years later, Shiroi, I have to say I have completely turned around, and and now that I have seen for myself that Kojima was right when he said all this, I cannot I cannot help but marvel at how absolutely this guy is so fucking ahead of me in terms of his vision, to be honest with you. Because, let me just finish real quick. Because Deji said something about this when I talked to him about this topic. Like, I talked about, Kojima predicted the future. And Deji's take on this is this. No, he didn't predict the future. It's just that unlike us, he was actually paying attention. That's Deji's take on this matter.
A couple of our writers also did that. Like, remember, we pointed out things, Gears also.
Yeah.
Decent prediction of how humanity will go. But also on the Western side, the first Deus Ex will tell us about invasion of privacy and governmental, invasion.
Big Brother is always watching.
And let us not forget good old Shu Takumi. While he did have an exaggerated version of Japanese court law, did actually predict a lot of things that would kind of affect law worldwide.
True.
But
True.
That's not
you
even
guys
talking
wanted
about
to
the
say
peril
something
stuff.
if you haven't already.
Sorry. Go on, Shirei.
Yeah, that actually wasn't like what I was talking about, though. I understand what this game is about. It kind of beats you around the head with it.
Yeah.
In a funny way, mind you. I don't like dislike it for any particular reason, but the thing that I'm complaining about is Kojima expecting to be able to end this year. Dude, no. Again, people for hours. You leave them with so many questions. You'd be like, all right, that's it. See you guys. I'm gone. Like, no, get back here.
Sure. Maybe that's how his team also felt about it. They were like, wait, you can't back out now. We refuse to make this game without you. You're going to come back in here and finish this
have
thing.
a fucking field day with these people if you don't get back in
You made
here.
this bed, Kojima. You're going to finish it, lay in it for the entire night that it takes to complete this saga.
That being said, Shiroi, yes, I can give you the correct the news you want. You will get an answer to all of your questions.
Yes, do you have some?
Yes,
Okay, about Shiro's point about subtlety, what I've noticed, I think people are only starting to come around on recently, is just because something's subtle doesn't mean it's good.
Oh, definitely.
Because something's thrown in your face doesn't mean it's bad.
Honestly,
sometimes I like lack of subtlety. It can work.
Not to mention, honestly, the message of this game is so important, especially nowadays, that I will argue it was kind of warranted, because it really feels like Kojima was trying to make a point and actually genuinely get people aware of this stuff. Because it is important stuff that we now, only 20 years later, now realize how important this game's message was at the time.
People were too busy being angry, get to play as Snake the whole way through.
That was the whole.
Okay. If I may, I do feel like that's
from the trailers.
I do feel like that's a bit of a gross oversimplification to all the issues people have with the game. I'm not going to say that there weren't some people blinded by their anger of not being able to play as Snake. I do still think there were legitimate issues with the story that did call for things to get ironed out here and there. Let me put it like this. Do I think the story is bad? No. Am I glad Kojima course-corrected and altered things out so that they could maybe go better, and then later had another crack at this type of story with Metal Gear Rising? Oh, absolutely yes. Because, okay, the story, I get what it's going for. I do feel like there were some issues in some of the execution here and there. But I'm going to save that more for my final thoughts, because this part's kind of going pretty long as it is.
For me, it's one of those things where, I perfectly understand people's complaints about not playing as Solid Snake. That being said, I will say this. It works perfectly for the purposes of the story that they're trying to do. Because if Snake was the protagonist of this game, you wouldn't be able to tell this story. Because in order to tell this specific story, you needed a different character. And I really love the game because, and keep in mind, this is not something that I would say 20 years ago, because back in 2001, I was right there with everybody. It was like, what the hell is this? And what the fuck is this game talking about? Digital information manipulating people? What the fuck is this? And all I can think of right now, 20 years later, basically, Kojima's Tim the Enchanter, and Arthur is the Metal Gear fans in 2001. I warned you, but you didn't listen to me, did you?
I wish I'd been killed by the killer rabbit already.
Go on, Shiroi, sorry.
Yes, Shiroi.
Since it's just happened, and just in case, like, I forget before my final thoughts anyway, just a couple of quick things about this as well. Like, first of all, information manipulation goes way back. Like, people or commoners weren't allowed to read because those in power were afraid it would, aggravate the masses and cause takeovers. Like,
Oh,
this
sure.
goes way back.
Oh,
But
sure.
Also,
Sorry.
my only complaint about any of this, and I was nice about this with Azeroth Legacy, but I'm not going to be nice about it here. Slow down with the plot twists. I need a minute between each one. I need to process this information. Slow the fuck down.
Could you imagine if they kept going? Oh, it turns out that Biden was not real. He was actually a robot.
Oh, that's why I was checking out the video player timer. It was like, wait, we're still going. Oh my god.
I got it. Yeah, he was made by the Patriots to simulate someone reacting to all of this, so that no one would suspect anything else was going on. Except
that's all I have to say.
Oh, sure.
Except it turns out that Snake was actually a pizza.
It's important. Let me just quickly. Sorry, go on.
I think it's a good sum up of my rule of thumb with Kojima here. A concentrated amount of Kojima produces some of the most amazing products we have here. That being said, there is still such a thing as letting Kojima get a little too Kojimish.
That's a term now.
That's right.
I'm not. Oh yeah, and I understand that. Not me though. I just absorb, and I just eat this shit up because I fucking love it. But anyway,
you know what? More power to you for it.
One thing I would like to mention about that is true, Shirai. But we also have to think about the specifics of the digital information part of said concept. Like, for example, okay, how about this? I'll just say this, and we don't want to talk about this anymore. I just want to make my quick point about this, because one thing that this game brings up that I will definitely, that's probably one of the main reasons why I really love that codec call, is the negative sides of freedom of speech. Now, let me explain what I'm talking about. I'm pro freedom of speech, for the record. I'm not trying to say. That being said, it cannot be denied that there are it's negative aspects, because a lot of people, like AI Colonel said, abuse their freedom to do nasty, horrible things. And like they said, slander people, spread misinformation.
It's funny. We're now officially in a day and age where... Sorry.
Now, yes, technically, like you said, Shiro, this kind of thing has been a thing before the internet. But now with the internet, like AI Colonel said, the digital information gives unlimited power of communication to the person that they have never seen before. Now it's much easier to slander and misinform people than ever before. And I think that's what this game was trying to say. That, yes, technically these things were around before, but now any random person on the internet can easily use the internet to spread lies and misinformation. So it's like that's why I love that line, Shirei. Too much power for an immature species. An immature species like us will abuse this tool for evil. And let's face it, we see this shit all the fucking time. Again, do I need to remind you about that French politician who wrongly accused Kojima of being a murderer? Go on.
Does this mean that the AI kernel was essentially a deepfake mixed with AI voice acting?
Yeah.
I hate all that's relevant.
Yeah, that's one of the big reasons, sure, why I love that codec call, because oh my god. Because I truly, this thing truly, the more time goes by, the more I appreciate that codec call, because so much of it is just, oh my god, it's one of those rare, it's one of those rare cases where I genuinely marvel at the fact that this guy is so ahead of me in terms of his vision, so ahead of me, because I never would have realized this for myself. Until it was too late.
Deji, where he said,
yeah, he was just.
Kojima was actually paying attention.
Yeah, That's one of the big things I appreciate, because it is true, Shiva, like you said, this has been before, but with the internet now, now it's much easier than before. That's the issue that I think Colonel is bringing up. Too much power for an immature species. Anyway, everybody, we've already run about this. I feel like we've already mentioned our main points about this aspect, so we'll go straight into the extras part at this point. So see you then.
All right.